Alright guys, I can't hear anything you're saying because I've got my ear defenders on, but we're in this garden with the mutated blackberries. I'm going to do some strimming and just going to strim down this row. It's quite blocked, there's nettles there and the blackberries are coming over. Can we see any fruit? Ah! Here's the fruit off the mutated blackberry. One just dropped off. But there it is. Looks like they might have flowered quite early. Ah, there we go. Oh, it's a big one. Whoa, a big one. Oh my god, it tastes amazing. Ooh, there's another one in there. So probably kind of missed the mutated blackberry flowers. But anyway, oh, there's some huge blackberries. Oh, absolutely huge, and they're really ripe. So anyway, I'm going to strim through this path. That's just a normal one. Strim through. Some of the berry plants are just covered in bindweed. Wow, that's the biggest blackberry I've seen. It's massive. I'll show you my finger next to it. The big one. That's a world record, that blackberry. For me anyway. Oh, I'm quite jealous of there. And there's some apples down here. Hadn't realised there was an apple tree. Quite small, might just be a sapling that's been allowed to grow. And we've got to strim through here, strim through. There's quite a lot in the way, and there's a lot of bindweed on this dog rose and these dog roses, so I'm just going to duck under here and just see if we can't tidy up this area a bit. This is just too much to maintain this year. It's been too wet and we just can't bring that soil this area. But see all this bindweed starting to flower, so we want to be taking that down. We've just been focusing more on the front bit of the garden over the last few weeks, so first time we've got back here really in quite a few weeks or months. So I'll show you what it looks like in the end anyway. Alright guys, so we've been strimming away and pulling bindweed, and I don't know if you can see it very clearly because the sun's very strong at the moment, but we've cleared all down this path. I'll show you all the blackberries as well, and I'll show you the mutated blackberries. We've got a better view of them and some of the others. Some big blackberries in there. Now I've cleared off all the bindweed, so we've cleared through those two paths, and then these piles are all the bindweed that's come off. And if I show you what this end, this is a non-mutated blackberry. You can see they've all gone mouldy. We've had a very wet year, and there's a mould and a fungus that's spread through. And then if we go over to the mutated ones, they've had the same problem as well. And I think because they've been covered in bindweed, it's helped to keep the moisture locked in. But the mutated blackberries have had an enormous amount of fruit on them. If you look here, try and get a good angle, all the dead looking areas of blackberries, and there is the odd one that hasn't gone mouldy yet. So there's one in there. Oh, it has gone a bit mouldy. Yeah, it's gone a bit mouldy and fallen apart. I'm wearing gloves, it'll be a bit more delicate. Yeah, here we go. So this is a blackberry from the mutated plant. Oh, it's lovely. Really sweet. But that's the mutated plant down there. You can just see it's absolutely crammed full of mouldy blackberries. Another reason is that it's got 10 times the number of leaves than a normal plant. Look, that's a normal blackberry plant and they're all spread out, but with the mutated one, all the leaves are very dense and close together on this sort of strap-like stem. So I think in drier years it would have a huge crop, so we'll have to, this is a non-mutated one, they're much bigger blackberries, and I'll show you all the blackberries. And that's nice with sweet flavour as well, but the mutated blackberry is a bit more jam-like almost. So what can I show you here? There's blackberries there and down there and in there. They're coming ripe in there, but a lot have fallen on the floor because of pulling the bindweed off. There's one down there, another one down there on the floor. But anyway, we'll clear up this bindweed, do a time check, and we're probably nearly out of time. There's a lot of bindweed still on those dog roses, and it's just going to be a continuing battle. And but we're getting into autumn now, so stuff's going to stop growing, and when we can get properly on top of it, we'll just continue to pull out as many roots as we can. But it's just absolutely prolific in this area, and it's hard to get all the roots out without digging out the entire area, which is it's impossible when there's plants there, and even then it will come back. So okay, I think that's all I'll show you for now, but we've got a bit more work to do. See you at the next one. Alright guys, we're in the next one, and it's been 3 weeks since we've been to all these because we're on holiday, but there's some second flush of roses coming through now. So if you did hedgy roses earlier in the year, you'll get them coming back again a second time round about now, I guess. And just waiting to be let in the back. They haven't opened the back gate for us yet. They normally do. So we'll be doing this lawn and then their back lawn, and then just having a bit of a weed. You can see the weeds are all up in that border, and we've struggled with weeds in big borders this year because of the wet weather. Normally, if you like, there we go, that's what this grass looks like, nice and long. It will look amazing when it's done. But normally if you hoe through some weeds and then you get some dry weather, it just completely kills them. They don't really come back. But because we've had such wet weather, we can be hoeing through, and then they're back, and or even fine weeding through, and then they're back again, you know, the next week. So if you have a look at these, these ones are all 3 weeks old because that was weeded through very carefully before we left, and they're already up. And then that was quite finely weeded through as well, but you can see they're coming back. And then I don't know, I guess we would have got through to this area. I mean, it could be 5 or 7 weeks old, these weeds, but then the weeds aren't growing so much as we go further up the border, because we are getting into drier and drier soil to a point where here it is very dry. And so you can see what we would normally be achieving. Not many weeds at all. In fact, there aren't really any, just the odd one here and there. So, show you what it looks like when we're finished anyway. Okay, so halfway through the back, and looking good. And then I'll show you the front, it looks amazing. Then we've just got this half to go. So lots of leaves everywhere, even though we're at the peak of summer. I'll show you what it looks like at the end. Alright, I'll show you the back, we've finished it, and then we'll go out the front. I'm just going to grab the bin. That's what the back looks like. So nice and neat and tidy. There it is. Lots of clover, that's a patch of clover, that dark bit. I mean, there's pretty much clover everywhere. all sorts in this lawn, lots of moss. I'll just bring the bin out with me and take you out the front, see what weeding Steve's been doing, and also what that front lawn looks like. It looks incredible from the road. The elevation of the lawn is just about perfect to catch the light, so they've got one of the nicest looking front lawns, but just because it catches the sun nicely. Though I must say this year the grass is looking quite well. So we're getting through the weeding in this border. So this is what we get it down to, and then when you get a bit of hot weather it just kills any seeds or anything from growing, not the seeds. And then really nice and clear there. And then here's the lawn. Get down to the bottom of it. There it is. Really nice. So on to the next one. Alright guys, we're in the next one, and we haven't been to a lot of these gardens for quite a few weeks, so there's been a lot of change. It's just grown up a little bit here, and I've cut down stuff in this border that the customer asked me to. Some birch trees growing in the middle there, just to give this one a bit of a trim, giving this bush a bit of a trim as well. And you can see this grass needs a cut. It's been 3 weeks since we've been here. And this is all out the front, and then if I take you into the back, I'll just push the mower through, because this is interesting. This one, we reseeded the entire border in the back. Never really done that before, but seeded it with grass to make it lower maintenance, and just to make it look a bit better really, because it was just weeds. They weren't growing anything really. So I'll show you what all that grass seed is looking like now, and whether it's been a success or not. Oh wow, yeah, it's looking much better. Look at this. So if you look at previous videos, you'll see this was just weeds on the side, so we've seeded it very nicely. A little bit of ivy thrown over the hedge, someone clearing it maybe on the other side. And then so there's little patches. There's this patch where there was some grass before, and then it's not grown as thickly in the back because it was covered in wood chip here, so I think some of the wood chip has inhibited the grass growing. But all the way along the back looking very nice. Bit patchy here, so we can give that a rake over to get rid of some of the wood chips that I can see in there, and put a bit more grass seed down in the autumn. And then this is where, so they had trees on either side. That corner's done all right. This one, you can see probably where the trunk was. They did have it ground down. And you can see the grass has really struggled. There's quite a lot of wood chip. We did rake it all out and try and rake it even, and then there's bits of the roots still left along there. That's why that's probably gone a bit dry and the grass hasn't taken as well. But really, just for, you know, one thorough seeding, it's done very well indeed. And they do have some very nice roses, and then they've been growing some edible stuff here, some tomatoes. They look amazing. Look at that, and in there, so they've got tomato plants and a chilli and various bits and bobs. Oh, and I've got a new that looks like a new trampoline for the kids, so that's nice. But we'll give this all a mow, and Steve's out in the alleyway trimming down because some of the bindweed was coming through under the fence. So alright, I'll show you what it looks like at the end. Alright, have a look. We've done some weeding around the front of the garden, so that's what it looks like. And then I'll just show you the back, which looks alright. Did a bit of weeding around the side. Here's the alleyway where we, I mean, that was completely filled and half full with weeds, ivy, bindweed, all that sort of stuff. Oh. Might be locked, so I'll just have a look over the fence. So, looking good. Bit of weeding in that corner to the left. A nice grassy garden. I think the catch is a bit stuck as well, so once you close it, it might not come back up. But anyway, finished here, and we'll go on to the next one. Alright guys, just a quick before and after, because we've got lots to get through here. Doing these trees again. So if you have a good look, this is a magnolia here. And this one we've got to preserve all the buds that we can for next year. So you can see in here, we want to be keeping these there and there. And there's loads inside. There's one there, one there. So just a trim. That's a maple. It'll be going a really nice dark red colour in the leaves very soon, coming into autumn. And then this is a cherry up here, and it's very leggy, so quite a lot of new growth that needs trimming back. And then another magnolia here, so lots to do. And then I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. But if you want to see a more full-length video of me trimming them down, there's a couple on the channel from this year and last year, so go and check it out. And if you want to support the channel, then please check out the membership option now. See you in a bit. Alright, so I'll show you progress. I realised without seeing some of it shaved off, you might not get the full perspective. So that's the cherry tree up there. The magnolia down here is done, and then that's the maple. You can see just at the top, those bits are still to do. I'll just go around and show you from another side, because it's the angle of the sun's pointing right into the camera. So there we go, that's a bit easier to see. That's the maple, and that's the cherry tree. And then this magnolia here, it's only got a tiny bit on the top that I'll be able to take off. And this is the lilac that has like a variegated flower. That's the end of it. Oh, I wonder if there's any seeds actually. But I've taken a couple of cuttings. I thought they'd died because they'd started going mouldy in just water that I'd put them in. So I put them in the soil, and they potentially have survived. I haven't seen them for a little while, but I'll take some more cuttings if I can. And okay, show you when we're finished. Alright, here we go, it's all done. Nice and neat and tidy. I do at some point do that Mexican orange bush as well, and just raked everything into piles, ready to tidy up. A pile in there, and a bigger one you can't see. So nice and neat and tidy. The magnolia over there as well, this one. And gone a bit cloudy, but that's all good because that just gives us a bit of respite from the heat. Okay. Cool, sunny day today, and not sure we've shown you the before version of this before. There's always a lot of leaves and a load of debris. And they like us to clear it all. And it's this lawn and these funny flower beds that are dug out, and then just loads and loads of leaves all over the floor everywhere. And just been hand raking this bit because there's a wasp's nest there where Steve got stung a couple of times before. So yeah, the leaves go all the way up there, and they're actually falling as we speak. That one just came down. So yeah, giving it a nice tidy up. The battle is getting all the leaves and debris up. We'll blow them into piles and then rake them up by hand. And show you what it looks like at the end. Here, check that. Anyway, we'll show you what it looks like at the end, but I've got work to do. Alright, we're getting through it. This much so far, so done that side of the garden on the left hand side. Still a bit of debris down there. And Steve's blowing up all the leaves up there as well. We've got some wasps. I'm pretty unhappy. I'll show you the nest in a bit actually. I'll take you for a ride and show you it, I guess. Hang on. Okay, so blow a lot of the debris into these flower beds and then rake it up later. You can see Steve's been pulling all the leaves away from the edges for where they all fall under here. And this is the wasp nest, so see them going in and out. So I got pretty close there. I was only about a foot away, so it's pretty risky considering we've been stung before, but they didn't seem too agitated. So yeah, all right, I'll show you what it all looks like when we're finished anyway, and we'll see how the wasps are and if they're any angrier or not. So we've got to get those leaves out from around their nest. All right guys, it was a real mess today. Been 3 weeks since we'd last been here, but we've done a blinder. Looks absolutely incredible. Really nice and neat. And there's another garden behind it as well, another lawn. Doesn't look quite as good as this. This gets the sun, this gets the aspect. But we've cleared up a lot of leaves. Oh, go on, I may as well show you all this area. All the debris, all the pine needles. Nice and neat. And then this garden in the back as well. So very neat and tidy, and I think the customer will be very happy with this indeed. I had to leave the leaves around the wasp nest. They're looking a little bit unhappy. See them whizzing in. But otherwise, job done. And once the weather gets a bit colder, the wasps will calm down, and I mean, normally we'll clear that stuff up anyway. Oh, there's a nice gladioli here actually. I think it's a gladioli, one that the customer's dad planted. Very nice. And then this border, nice sharp edge, and lots of geraniums and petunias. So, and lavender. Just climb up here and on to the next one. Alright guys, got me ear defenders, I can't hear anything you're saying, but we're at this garden and I haven't even mowed it yet, and look at it, it is quite long. Quite long, say a good 3 inches or something, and compared to next door's looking very nice. And Steve's just going to be weeding through this front area, and there are certain things that the customer wants pulling out. This is what it looks like from the other angle, so I'll show you the back and everything when it's done. Alright, we're in the back garden. I'll show you the hydrangeas. They're huge and they're coming over the path a bit, but I've tied them back. There's all sorts of flowers. These are some nice perennial geraniums that are still going. See, loads of flowers. This got a bit out of control. And then a nice rose on its second coming. We're getting all the roses coming back. And this thing is finally flowering. That little white flowers. And this is the garden, and it's looking beautiful right at the peak of summer. We'll just mow this lawn and then get a bit more weeding and stuff done as well. Alright, last few minutes. I'm going to hoe through this border and finish the lawn through there. I'll show you around after anyway. But, it's getting a bit of hoeing done. It's nice and dry now. Well, it's quite dry and there's plenty of weeds, as you can see. So it's well worthwhile giving everything a hoe at this point. Little weed stuck in there. And we're just disrupting their roots, and if it's sort of warm and dry for the rest of the day, that'll kill them off, because they're only very small weeds. They're very sort of, yeah, there's not a lot to their leaves. I don't know what to call them. They're just delicate little weeds at the moment while they're young, so they'll die off nice and easily. And the beauty of using a hoe, its specific use is for when you've got lots of soil with not a lot of planting in, large areas of soil. And there's poppies in there that I'm hoeing through as well. There's so many seeds that will be sitting in the soil ready for germination next year. We don't need to worry about trying to go around those, and the customer's not too bothered about keeping poppies in the garden, but there will be some. We'll leave some for next year. They're nice bolts of colour. Okay, so anyway, leave me to keep hoeing through this border, and we'll see you at the end. Alright, just finishing off now and heading out, but the grass in the garden looks very nice and weeded all the way through, and then the lawn looks nice on the right hand side. That's the neighbour on the left, and then if we show you out into the garden in the back, just been doing lots of trimming back. Put the hoe through the whole left hand side, trimmed this thing back so it's getting a bit big, and I've just deadheaded a lot of these. Like, the lawn looks nice, lots of ant hills in the lawn. You can see all the dirt patches, they're all ant hills, and we've deadheaded all these. I think they're hostas, they're normally something beginning with H, and hoed through this border. So Michaelmas daisies here, that's what the customer calls them. Very nice, like a bluey purple. And then this thing I think is a hibiscus, and I bought one for our garden, but more of a pink colour than a purple. Acer there, and a rather interesting poppy as well, a little delicate pink one there, looks quite nice. So always something going on in this garden. And on to the next. Alright Alright guys, we're at this garden. It's quite long, it's very long, and it is a bit of a mess, so we'll just see if this will stripe up. Cause the grass has come through quite a lot more now, all the rain. Here we go. So just finished doing the lawn, nice and stripy, and it's probably the best it's looked all year, because at the very beginning we give it a good dethatching scarify, where we get the blades in, pull out a lot of moss, and then blow it over to the sides. And then just gets to a point in the year now where in peak summer, even toward the end of the summer, and the grass is looking very nice indeed, especially after all this rain. Okay, well that's it for the this week's work. We'll see you next in the next garden.